The Ukrainian uprising and consequent annexation of Crimea by Russia is a crisis the entire world has been watching for months now. Although stories have flooded the media, it still seems that few Americans really know what the actual issues are in this complicated matter. Post-Soviet era politics expert Holly Hansen says there are many issues that led up to the protests and shattered government. One issue, Ukraine's treasury, was broke. The citizens in the country needed a buyout to survive, which is where Russia stepped in, offering a generous loan and a discount on natural gas Ukraine needed to survive the harsh winter. The conditions of the deal were that Ukraine not enter a trade deal with the European Union and instead enter Russia's customs union. Former Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych accepted this deal, but the Ukrainian people rejected it.
There was a lot of frustration within Ukraine, within the population, about how corrupt the Ukrainian president was, about the economic problems that they were having. And this was seen for a lot of the initial protesters as sort of the final straw.
After Yanukovych was ousted as president and forced to flee the country, Russia began to step in and began looking to annex Crimea, a peninsula located in southwest Ukraine.
A lot of policy experts are seeing this as Russia's attempt to maintain their regional influence in an area that is traditionally their sphere, and not necessarily I think the power grab that this has been portrayed in the media.
Although Ukraine's situation doesn't seem to involve the U.S. directly, the U.S. plays a major role in the negotiations between Russia and the European Union, in assuring the U.S. allies like Poland that the U.S. will not turn a blind eye if Russia becomes aggressive.
What this crisis shows is how much Europe and Russia even still needs the United States to broker an agreement that can help all of them save face in a crisis like this.
The EU needs to make a deal with Russia because the majority of the EU, Ukraine and Crimea included, all get their natural gas from Russia and rely on it for daily life. Russia has a monopoly on natural gas and has used that to their advantage in political dealings with the EU.
The Ukraine crisis has shown how much leverage Russia has over European politics because of the energy stranglehold they have.
Because of this crisis, the U.S. has been trying to find other ways for the EU to get energy instead of solely relying on Russia. The U.S. efforts in this crisis are something that could eventually even affect Oklahomans directly.
I think is something that is important to the United States, and a fair amount of maybe even important to Oklahomans, considering that maybe down the road, if the technology is developed to liquefy natural gas, there's some economic opportunities available to the natural gas industry, even somewhere here locally.
For OState TV, I'm Samantha Morgan.